raised 5 children here in Bettendorf. For more than 30 years, Bob has been deeply committed to serving not only the city of Bettendorf, but the greater Quad Cities community. I've known Bob for probably 20, 25 years now on many advocacy trips and stuff, so I know his true dedication to this entire region as a whole. He currently serves on many boards and commissions, including the Scott County Emergency Management Agency, the Waste Commission of Scott County, Scott Emergency Communications Center, Bi-State Regional Commission, and the Transportation Policy Committee. He also serves on the Eastern Iowa Community College Foundation Board, the Quad City Chamber's Regional Opportunities Council, and Have Life. And he's an active member of the Bettendorf Rotary Club and past co-chair of the Mississippi River Cities and Towns Initiative. Bob has been serving as mayor since 2012, and under his leadership, the city has experienced significant residential and commercial growth while maintaining high-quality city services and strong financial stewardship. His long-standing dedication to public service reflects his commitment to helping Bettendorf reach its full potential, and we're really excited to hear more about what he has planned for the city here today. But as a non-Bettendorf resident who does come over here for Pilates at least 3 or 4 days a week, what I really want to know is, when is the Christmas tree going to come down at Middle Road? I was just asking John that as well. I enjoy the lights that still come up there. So Bob, hopefully you can give us that answer today as well. So please join me in welcoming Mayor Bob Gallagher.
Thank you, Molly. We're going to play hurt today, so I'm going to use a stick microphone, and my talking with my hands may not be exactly how it's always been in the past, but I appreciate you, staying with me here. Thank you all for being here. We do have some folks I want to introduce before we get started. First, we'll do in increments of those types of people who are here, and then we'll do a round of applause at the end. Oh boy, this is getting started great. Okay. Mayors from other cities who are here today, thank you for joining us. Jason Gordon from Davenport, Ashley Harris from Rock Island, and Reggie Freeman from East Moline. Let's give them a round of applause. Other city administrators who have joined us today: Tim Gleason from Davenport, Todd Thompson from Rock Island, Bob Vitas from Moline, and Mark Rothert from East Moline. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your good work in this community. We have some representatives from our folks in D.C. Penny Bosick is here for U.S. Senator Chuck Grassley, and Michelle Beck is here for U.S. Senator Joni Ernst, sitting in the front with my parents. If something happens at Scott County today, nobody's going to be there to fix it. They're all here. Thank you all for being here. The Scott County Board of Supervisors is here in full force, and they always are. We've got a great working relationship with them. The chair of the Scott County Board of Supervisors, John Maxwell, is here. Vice Chair, Gene Dixon. Supervisor, Ken Beck. Supervisor, Maria Brubiesco. County Administrator, Mahesh Sharma. David Farmer, who's the Budget and Administrative Services Director. Tony Kenobi, the Treasurer. And Greg Schopfeld, the Planning and Development Director. Thank you for being here. Now let me introduce you to the folks that serve on the Bettendorf City Council that set those long-range plans and policies that we deal with and we'll talk about here today. These folks work very hard for the citizens of Bettendorf, and they work very well with our community, elected and other appointed officials. Our 2 at-large council members, Frank Baden and Lisa Brown. Our 1st Ward council member, Jerry Sexer. 2nd Ward, Connor Flaherty. 4th Ward, Scott Nauman. 5th Ward, Nick Pelzinski. Thank you for your partnership and the great work that you do. Thank you all for being here today. We do have an introduction of our department heads on your placard in front of you, but if our department heads would all please stand to be recognized. Thank you, and thank you for all the hard work that you do. We're going to call you out, as if I remember to, with my cold, throughout today's State of the City address, but I'd also like to welcome Jim Grafton, the Rock Island County Administrator. Didn't make my list, but I saw you, Jim. I'm sorry. Thank you for being here, Jim. All right. Thank you. So we're going to do it a little different. I don't have my Madonna mic on today. We're going to do it with a stick microphone so that when I cough or sneeze, I can get it out of the way and you don't have to hear that. It is an honor and privilege to be here to deliver the 2026 State of the City Address. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for your support throughout the year. Thank you to our partners who are here. You heard from Kiwanis Club and the Rotary Club. We've got other service organizations here, including the Chamber and BBN, BDC, all kinds of different folks who make our community a great place. Thank you for being here. Thank you to our sponsors, the Isle of Capri Casino and Hotel. Thank you to the Waterfront Convention Center. They always do a great job with lunch, so we appreciate that. And thank you to our presenting sponsor, Essentra Credit Union, a great partner in downtown Bettendorf for all things Bettendorf, especially their help with our DBO that we're going to talk about today. Here's a picture of your council members. On your place cards, you can see a QR code that you can click to get more information about City Council. And here's your department heads. Each one of your department heads, if you flip over that placard, you can see each one has a QR code. You can learn about them and the great things that they do for us here at the City of Bettendorf. Let's see what I'm missing. Jim Grafton. Thanks for coming, Jim. All right. The vision of the City of Bettendorf is to be the most livable community with rich educational, cultural, and recreational opportunities, where we enjoy a vibrant riverfront and a growing competitive business advantage. That's been the same vision for the 14 years that I've been mayor, and these 5 goals that help us reach that vision have been the same goals. There are times when they change in order, but the first one stays there forever. That's the foundation that we believe upon which we can build a great city. We have to be financially sound and deliver excellent quality city services. We also want orderly growth and quality development. We'd like to create a destination for entertainment and living in our downtown that connects with our community's greatest resource, the Mississippi River. Of course, we want to grow current businesses and attract new businesses to Bettendorf, all of which adds up to becoming a premier place to live, work, play, invest, and to visit. We go through a purposeful strategic planning session each and every year with a consultant who comes in for 3 days. The reason I think we see such success in Bettendorf, and this predates my time, is we have a consultant help us create long-term goals, snippets of how we can get there each year, and we work that plan. On your tables, you can see the City of Bettendorf strategic plan. This sits in everybody's office. And in fact, many of the department heads, if you walked into their office, have a whiteboard. And on that whiteboard, each and everything that they're going to get done this year has a time frame to it. We work hard to work the plan so that if something comes up during the year, we might have some time to tackle it, but we have already set the plan in place to reach those 5 goals and our overarching vision. As we move into goal 1, becoming or staying a financially sound city, you can see all the awards that we get for the amount of work we put into the budget. These are the department heads who make sure that their budget balances every year. They become more efficient each and every year, and they provide that information to Jason Shatter, Director of Finance, and Callista, who works real well with him in finance to help put this budget together. 34 years in a row, we've been awarded the Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting, 31 years for the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award, and 3 years for the Achievement in Popular Annual Financial Reporting. These are awards that show how the city meticulously goes through the budget process and presents that information not only to the GFOA, the Government Finance Officers Association, but also to those who give us a credit rating when we go out for bonds, and the popular reporting to you in our community. Great job to the folks in finance. We have maintained our long-term credit worthiness rating of AA+, 1 down from AAA, and we've been told by our friends at Standard & Poor's Global that we're not going to reach a AAA until the state of Iowa fully funds the police and fire pension. We fund that at about 90%, and that may be actuarially sound, but that 10% becomes a liability on the city in the financial paperwork, so that's going to be a real hard lift. But we have great things that happen at the city to keep us here at this rating at AA+. Penny, I feel you. We have a financially sound city, and the folks at Standard & Poor's give us this rating because of the same. They note that we have a balanced budget that is reliant upon conservative budget assumptions. They note that we have extended growth and increase in property taxes. They note that we continue to work together to keep adequate fund balances, and we have a stable financial report. So that's all that goes into making sure that we have this AA+ rating. In fact, we just went out for bonds and got this year's bonds at 3.28%. So 3.28% is trading about at AAA anyway. So great job to the department heads and our folks in finance. When you use the comparables across the state of Iowa, those over 23,000 in population, and you put everything everywhere into the calculation, these are all your user fees and taxes, we're well below average, sitting at about 7th. But if you look at operations only, we're very lean, sitting at about 3rd, well below the average. This is where we pay our people that do the things that we do. As a growing city, there are other costs associated with that growth, including people, but those that we employ continue to do more with almost everybody in the state. If you were to take the city of Bettendorf, average home of 372,000 now, I think, and you plopped it into the rest of the cities in the Quad Cities, here's what you'd see. You'd see a 14% increase in Davenport, and then much more in the other side of the river, which of course their taxes are scheduled a different way than ours, so it's maybe not a fair comparison. But I think the point here is it's a misnomer that it costs more to live in the city of Bettendorf. Looking forward to 2026-27, our budget highlights are as follows. Our budget is about a net $134 million. That includes the first phase of work on the police station, which was voter approved. We'll talk about that today. This continues to demonstrate our financial strength and flexibility and our use of significant growth, which may be hampered by the bills currently in the State House, which we will also talk about today. This upholds our promise to pay for the 6 firefighters we hired using the federal SAFER grant, which will expire in March of 2027, and it takes advantage of grant funding for life-saving equipment and to complete some infrastructure projects, one street in particular, where we will talk about today. One of the obstacles we face is that over the last 10 years, the state property tax legislation has reduced the taxable value, which is the blue bar, as a percentage of the assessed value, which is the green bar, from 62% to 49%, costing us almost $7 million in potential revenue for the city of Bettendorf. That's a problem. We grow at about 14% on average the last 5 years, but we only capture about 7% of that. If one of the new bills that is being bantered about passes, a 2% cap on all levies would be detrimental to all cities, not only the city of Bettendorf. We face the same things that you face in your businesses, rising costs from insurance, property and casualty up 3 times what it was 10 years ago, 14% or so annually, health insurance up 9% this year, vehicle and equipment also up high. As you can see, when we're replacing those things that we use each and every day, we're paying more for them, as you well know. You're doing the same. But we have done all we can, and we continue to find efficiencies and cost containment. So we are, like all of our cities in the community, looking hard at other ways to find money to do the things that we're doing, like through grant funding. Lots of grant funding, especially in Parks and Rec, Fire, and this Central Avenue resurfacing project, which we'll talk about today. We've reduced print and mailing costs. We continue to analyze our health insurance and other ways to save money in those types of fees. We've right-sized operating hours. We've renegotiated contracts for private individuals and entities using parks to continue to get bang for the buck and allow great things to happen in our parks. We're increasing fees where we can, and we continue to look for utility efficiencies, just like you're all doing in your businesses. So the property tax reform, there are 3 different bills. The governor has a bill, the House has a bill, the Senate has a bill. They're all calling for a 2% cap of some sort, at least in the general fund. So if we look at what that might do to us, our general fund expenditures are up about 6% annually. That's because we increase pay to our people, led by police and fire staffing, labor contracts. We also have the increases I showed you in health and liability insurance. A year-to-year growth for the city of Bettendorf of 4% can tackle that because of the extra growth that we may get. So if we're capped at 2, this is going to be a challenge. We have adequate reserves to get us through the challenge for about 5 years, but that's going to be an issue moving forward. Even with the valuation carved out of the cap, new property tax revenue is reduced by about $400,000 a year, $1.8 million over the next 5. As we move into quality services, we look first at public works. 94% of the residents are satisfied with the overall cleanliness and maintenance of the city. 94% are satisfied with the quality of waste and recycling services. 95% of our residents are satisfied with the overall quality of services provided in Bettendorf. And you can see that our Public Works Department is accredited by the American Public Works Association. We are the first public works department in Iowa to be accredited by the APWA, and we've been reaccredited 6 times. Every 4 years you go for reaccreditation, and we have done so. So congratulations to Brian Schmidt, Director of Public Works, and everybody there in Public Works. We appreciate that. Look at that, it's a round of applause. Brian Schmidt, stand, you get the gold star. He's always out for credit, this guy. Just the opposite. But as we continue to talk about public works, I'd like to say thank you to City Council. Our City Council continues to invest in equipment and efficiencies, technology, and training for our folks. And in public works, there is nothing better than new snowplows. And over the last 2 years, City Council has authorized the purchase of 7 new snowplows. In 2025, at our Public Works Day, we got to name a couple of them. We had 300 submissions in this contest, and the public chose the 2 names, Snow White and the Bettendorfs, and the Big Leplowski. So we've got 2 named snowplows that are out doing the work of the community. These snowplows, as are all of our fleet in Public Works, are equipped with the latest technology and equipment so that we can be as efficient as possible in performing the work they do in Public Works. As you can see, that came to fruition. If you remember Thanksgiving of last year, where we had about 12 inches of snow in about 4 days. So they plowed 7,000 lane miles, and throughout the 11 snow events, they're only at about 17,000 at this point. So we got a little butt kicking there, but with the new Big Leplowski, we were able to take care of the snow. Quality services also mean quality roads. These are 2 of the biggest projects that we did last year. We did a widening project on 53rd Street from Devil's Glen to Middle Road, and a widening project on Devil's Glen Road from 53rd Street to Forest Grove Road, as we continue to grow in those areas to make sure everybody can traverse that area quickly and efficiently. We did these 2 projects, did them under traffic so that everybody could get to where they were going throughout that time. Looking forward, we have 275 capital improvement projects in our program over the next 5 years, costing about $130 million. We only spend about $9 million per year on these projects. So obviously, we got to make some choices, right? Here's what you see coming for this year, Central Avenue. Central Avenue has finally cleared all the environmental and cultural hurdles of the National Environmental Protection Agency that allows us to get $1.5 or so million towards that $3 million project. 2-year delay to get all that done. Thank you, federal government. But it was worth it because now we will be completing Central Avenue this year. We also are going to do 29th Street, and we are completing our 10-year alley rehabilitation program. So we were able to rehabilitate all our alleys over the last 10 years, so that's a great thing for the city. There are some construction highlights on your screen coming up for 2026. Let me draw your attention to a couple of those. We're going to complete the Gateway Bridge over Middle Road out near I-80. We'll talk about that some more today. We're going to replace the 53rd Avenue bridge deck over Crow Creek. We're going to do some work in the Pigeon, where some of our infrastructure has become in jeopardy, so we're going to get in there and do some work there. We're going to update some of our traffic network and signals, and we're going to continue to work with our friends in Davenport, Panorama Park, and Riverdale on the wastewater treatment plant improvements that are part of a consent agreement with the Iowa DNR to get some of the work done there. So those are the big things that are coming in 2026. We continue to do everything we can to be more efficient, and this year we have undertaken a transit optimization study with our friends at Davenport Transit and MetroLink. We're working to identify collective strategies to improve service delivery, align with regional land use and economic development plans, and enhance rider accessibility and connectivity throughout the region. So we'd like to work together with those partners to find the best and most efficient way to get the work done that needs to be done, and this is a good example of working together. Quality services in the city of Bettendorf include police and fire. Great departments who have done great work and have undergone a little bit of a change. Last year, we said goodbye to Chief Keith Kimball here at the Mayor's State of the City, and we said hello to Chief Doug Scott. We then swore him in. Chief Scott's been busy. He hired 8 new officers. That's 15% of our force. We have openings now, so if you know anybody who would be a good Bettendorf police officer, have them come to Bettendorf before Davenport, because they're looking. Everybody in the Quad Cities is looking. So we need good cops in the Quad Cities. Let's get them anywhere that we can get them, but we'd like them here in Bettendorf, as I'm looking at Tim from Davenport. In the change of leadership, we'd had some promotions. We have new folks helping run the department. Captain Andrew Champion and Lieutenants Jeff Buckles, Patrick Misick, and Zach Thomas. And we continue our popular patch program that allows people to purchase these patches, the proceeds of which go to support local and regional folks who work in these areas. I'll give you an example. Nonprofits, like now the police are using the heart disease awareness patch, so that money goes in any proceeds for the purchase of those patches goes to help those folks that are running programs for heart awareness. We also have a lot of folks who received commendations this year from our police department. As you can see there, Officers Landry, Blanc, and Brian Morrissey received the Combat Cross and Wounded in Combat Award, and Lieutenant Zach Thomas, the Combat Cross, Officer Derek Sate, the Honorable Service Award, with Hervé Denane, and Officer Ashley Guthrie and Record Specialist Sarah Stolley received recommendation or commendation for the patch program that they put together. And on his way out in retirement, Dennis Tripp received the 2025 Respect for Law Enforcement Award from our friends at the Bettendorf Optimist Club. Thank you to those who serve. And thank you to you who voted emphatically yes for public safety. On November 4th, we had more people vote than in any non-presidential election, and overwhelmingly, almost 74% voted yes for public safety, to build a new police station. Here's a rendering done by our friends at Bray Architects. Estes Construction will be building a building that looks like that next to the post office on Devil's Glen Road. Nearly 100 people worked in committees, the Yes to Public Safety Committee, and those folks were led by 3 people I'd like to thank today: Pat Eikenberry, Jim Spellhug, and Ann Kapler. I know Pat's here. Let's give them a round of applause for the great work they did. As we move into the fire department, our guys and gals are some of the best trained around. City Council believes that we will support their training, and as you can see, a lot of new certifications from last year. And in fact, we have the Clark Rutledge Firemanship Award winner from the Illinois Fire Academy, Alex Feldman from Bettendorf. Now, we've won that award the last 2 years, and we send our firefighters to the Illinois Fire Academy because there isn't one in Iowa. And we believe that training has helped our guys and gals tremendously. So it's really cool to have the highest award winner from the Academy in 2026 and 2025, I guess maybe 25 and 4. So thanks to the firefighters and thanks to our Chief, Troy Sade, and all of those who make up the fire department. Our guys are well trained. They stay trained in the Illinois Fire Service Academy. In fact, the Illinois Urban Fire and Rescue, or Swift Fire and Rescue, I think it is, these guys all take part in certifications and stay up and certified so they can help other places, including these two who went down to Texas. Assistant Chief Matt Lawson and Captain Shane Peitcher went to Texas to help with search and recovery efforts after that terrible flooding event down in Texas. Thank you, gentlemen, for doing that. We appreciate you. Assistant Chief Matt Lawson's in the house. Thanks, Matt. We appreciate you. Lots of cool stuff happening in the fire department. We continue to add to our training facility so that our firefighters and those firefighters from the region can come use a state-of-the-art facility. We've completed a 3rd story to that facility. We've also done some remodeling. Downtown, we created an emergency operations center in the fire department that we used for the flooding of Duck Creek. Station 3 is receiving some renovations. We've received a new fireboat thanks to a FEMA port security grant and a new fire engine. Police and fire have done some cool things together. First one is for the public. We did a public open house that was so well received. We continue to hope we can do that each and every year. And they did some in-house training, crisis communications training. These folks in the picture on the right-hand side performed some crisis communications training with an expert. Now they continue to do tabletop exercises within the departments and make sure that we're able to communicate efficiently and effectively in the case of emergency to you, the public. 94% of the residents here believe that we have an overall sense of safety. Goal 2 is orderly development. We are looking at TBK Bank Sports Complex area. Obviously, lots of things happening there. Lots of businesses open in 2025 and or are opening soon. Ron Chris is here. He's got the Duck Creek Tire and Service. Lots of folks that have happened to invest in that area as a result of the TBK Bank Sports Complex. So thanks to those who are investing in our area, ORA Orthopedics is open now, and you're going to see the QCR Holdings building start to come out of the ground very soon. Our friends at Visit Quad Cities, many of those folks are here, thank you very much, have provided us with some statistics about the growth of TBK Bank Sports Complex. Over 8 million visitors since it opened, 1.5 million last year, and 55% of those included an overnight stay. You can see a list of the top destination marketing areas that frequent the place, but we have touched 38 states and 2 countries. All right, the Gateway Bridge coming this year. This bridge is going to be an awesome addition to get folks from phase 1 of TBK to the other in a safe manner. Runners, bicyclists, walkers can now traverse Middle Road in a safe manner. This is also a connection between the trail system in our community, especially between LeClaire and Davenport, so that's a very cool thing. And this is being paid for with the tax increment financing, or tax increment created by the private developers in that area, pursuant to a development agreement that we put this together because we allowed them to use that tax increment to fund the private development and increase what's there. So it's a great tool in our toolbox, and this is a great thing to create without using tax money. This is just generated by the private development there. Here's a time lapse of what's happening here at the Gateway Bridge. So you're gonna see lots, you can see those pillars that are in the ground now. You're gonna see lots of work being done there this year, and we hope to have it completed by the end of this year's construction season. This is a project that comes just before our friends at the Iowa Department of Transportation are going to reconfigure the I-80 and Middle Road interchange into a compressed diamond interchange. That's a $70 million project that's going to take a couple of years to complete. That's being done on the heels of the city's Spencer Creek Lift Station completion, a $10.3 million project that creates gravity sewer for about 1,800 acres to the north of I-80 and Middle in the area where we are beginning to grow now. So we can service the gravity sewer in this area. The reason we need to work out in this area is because we continue to grow. We all know that we grew almost 18% in the last decennial census, and projections have us at about 56,000 people in 2045. The expansion and increase in those expectations have led us to dust off our land use plan and our comprehensive use plan that we just finished a couple years ago. Usually those sit for about 10 years before they get re-looked at, but Mark Hunt and his team in community development is re-looking at where we can grow through voluntary annexation to the north and maybe to the east. In fact, you've seen that we just annexed 90 acres of land to the east for the Blackstone Custom Home Community and the possibility of a new elementary school in the Pleasant Valley School District. We continue to grow at about 114 new front doors, 103 apartments, and 15 new commercial buildings last year. In community development, it isn't always about building things. Sometimes it's about growing things. In 2024, we partnered with these students and some others at Bettendorf Middle School to create a prairie at the corner of Parkway and Greenway Drives, where we had raised a house as part of the FEMA buyout program, where we're buying out many of the houses that are floodplain houses in this area. This is a great partnership where they planted seeds of a prairie, and a year later came back to show them to me here on the mayor's message and explain the types of things they planted and what's coming next. So on that corner, you can look for some interpretive signing and maybe a bat house or two as we continue to work with our kids at the Bettendorf Middle School. We're also master planning the entire area so that we can do great community things like community gardens, static play places, and water quality issues and flood resiliency in the Duck Creek Park area. Goal 3 is to create a destination of entertainment and living in the downtown that incorporates great access to the riverfront. We are working with our friends in the Downtown Bettendorf organization, Ryan Jancy. He's here. He's done a great job in this area. And they've done some great beautification efforts in the downtown this year. 2 brand new murals. You can see the Arches mural right across from City Hall and the Lost Frequencies mural on the side of the Bulldog Arms building. Bulldog Arms is a brand new business in downtown, and there are 6 others, as well as 2 new sculpture pads so that we can continue to participate in the public art program with our friends at Quad City Arts. Also downtown, we're excited to introduce to you this new sign. This sign directly supports the DBO's placemaking initiatives as it's a permanent lit sign. This is going to create a strong visual identity for the community. As a bold, recognizable landmark, the sign reinforces Bettendorf's brand and helps residents and visitors alike associate downtown with vibrancy and growth. Placemaking is about turning spaces into destinations, and this Bettendorf sign does exactly that by providing a focal point that encourages people to stop, gather, and engage with the surrounding businesses and public spaces. I had to read it, Ryan. You wrote so eloquently. I did it for you. I think it was AI. Let me point out a couple of dates that are very important to the DBO and to the city of Bettendorf. We partner with the DBO on our downtown cleanup, which this year is April 15th, so please mark your calendars. More importantly, come be downtown on June 6th. Each year, this is a wonderful celebration that coincides with the city's birthday. This is a free, family-friendly event. It includes great music, food trucks, kids' games, lots of kids' activities, a bags tournament, professional wrestling, and we get a lot of the equipment from the city as long as it's not being used someplace else for the kids to come climb on, like stuff from Public Works and fire trucks and police cars. So it's a really great opportunity to support what's going on in the downtown with the Downtown Bettendorf organization. We look further into Goal 3 to create this entertainment and living district. As we've talked about now for a number of years, the West Bridge project is still on the shelf. We've got great work with our developers. The question here is the state going to take away the tool in the toolbox called tax increment financing? And if they do, projects like this across our state are in huge jeopardy, like this one. So this is a great project that's going to renovate Leach Park. That would be a public amenity, and create this destination for entertainment and living that we've been talking about. We have made some progress. We've got great approvals granted by Homeland Security, Canadian Pacific, Kansas City Rail, and the Iowa Department of Transportation. There's lots of people that have their hands in the ground down here, and you've got to get approvals for the things you want to do. We do have an approval to get a street through underneath the bridge, which we thought maybe was going to be impossible. So Jeff Ryder, our assistant city administrator, has done a lot of great work there. Chris Kern, our city attorney. So we have some great things happening, but we need to make sure we get some sort of a tax bill this year so we have some predictability moving forward. These types of developments just cannot happen without predictability. Our fourth goal, let's grow and attract businesses here in Bettendorf. 12 ribbon cuttings and 6 groundbreakings. We are seeing the continued attraction of commercial development in Bettendorf. Very lucky to have this. Thank you to those in the room who continue to invest here. We appreciate you. We hope that we are able to support you as best we can. I know our staff does whatever they can to be helpful. I hope your permitting processes are quick, and I hope you get to from shovel ready to doors open as quick as possible. We do have some great reuse projects that have happened. We're pleased to see infill projects like this. The old library that had been vacant for probably decades is now Bulldog Arms. The old gas station at the corner of Middle Road and Devil's Glen is gone. You saw that go down really quickly, and you're looking at 7 Brew Coffee being created. The old sports bar that was vacant at Devil's Glen and Belmont has become Dim Sum and Kimchi. That is now open. A private developer from our area has purchased the old medical center at Devil's Glen and Tanglefoot. We are excited to hear what happens with that property. And Teskey's is now going to be a multi-use retail and residential area, with Teskey's being on the ground floor. So these are some great infill projects that have done positive things to our community, or for our community. It's going to be weird not to be at the landing for a ribbon cutting or groundbreaking. 3 years of great work there have now created 2 sides of this project, the ice skating and the water park. So this is a bit of a time lapse of all the great work that went into creation of one of these awesome amenities here in the community. This is a great partnership. 1/3 of the money came from the city, 1/3 from the YMCA, and 1/3 from philanthropic organizations in our area. This is the way to partner to get big, cool things done. About 17,000 people went to ice skate this year, and 70 or so thousand hit the water park. So we are reaching a ton of people. Lots of things that we're going to try to do with the skating park. John Burns, our new Director of Parks and Recreation, has great ideas about reprogramming this for times when it's not ice. And some of these things already drew big crowds. Line dancing and roller skating parties, birthday events, fundraising nights, and we did some great skating nights that you can see as well. We touched about 120,000 participants in 24-25 in our entire public works offerings. That's a lot of participants. We are aiming to increase that number. The guide is now out online, so if you want to get to sign up for any of the parks and recreational programs, I urge you to do that now. They fill up fast, and John Burns and his team have great programs for you to take part in. The other part of parks is maintenance. We have 600 park acres and 27 parks. Jason Manfield and his team do a great job of taking care of what's out there, including the 38 miles of trails. And Mr. Burns has brought with him new and exciting ways to reach the public to find out what they may be thinking about the parks in their area. He's had these community input events for the parks that are coming at Edgewood, Lincoln, and Friendship, and we put in a new park at Ed Scheck as a result of the same kind of public input. So we experienced some great information that came from the folks who live in those areas. We have a big park that we've been talking about and working on for years. Forest Grove is now undergoing a feasibility study. We've had lots of great ideas of how to manage this park and what to put into the park. Now we've got all those things that we threw at the wall. We're going to find out which ones work financially, which ones work from an operational standpoint. What does that cost? So that we can continue to plan this park. And we are going to introduce futsal to Bettendorf in July of 2026. Our friends in Moline and Davenport have had great success with futsal, and we appreciate learning from them and believe it's going to happen here as well. Palmer Hills celebrated its 50th season, the second year in a row with more than 40,000 rounds. Our second year with First Tee of the Quad Cities that teaches young people golf skills and life skills that come with the game of golf. We're looking forward to continuing that program and making it bigger as the years go by. We're also doing some renovations that you see at Palmer Hills, including a new clubhouse for this season. As we move to the library, you can check out the numbers there at the library. Lots of outreach and lots of people coming to the library. You can see a ton of numbers. They're all increases from last year. And the library continues to be a different thing than when I went to the library as a kid. All kinds of computers. The Creation Studio is catching on. So many people going up there. We continue to make that Creation Studio bigger and better. And we hope that you will come visit us at the library. My favorite thing that the library does is the concert series in the summer. Please get out there. We touched about 5,000 people who attended. We did a new story walk, which is really cool, over in Kiwanis Park. Became a dementia-friendly organization. I may need that after today. And we get an outreach vehicle to reach more people in the community coming next year. We resurfaced Faze Field, which is part of the Learning Campus. We call Faze Field. The museum and the library are Learning Campus. And both the museum and the Learning Campus continue to be certified autism centers, and they do lots of great programming for folks who need that type of programming. It's really cool to see it happen. We created a new permanent exhibit this year called On the Road. It's a great opportunity to take a road trip, an adventure, if you will. You can go to an old-style diner. You can go camping. You can play mini golf. There's even a place to tune up your car before the trip where you will find Gallagher's Gadgets, new and used tools for sale. It's on the back of the thing in the back, but it's still really cool. Kim Kidwell and the folks at the library, that's awesome. Or excuse me, the museum, and Julian Ashford at the library. Oh. So this is a look at the museum on the road exhibit and how it came to be. Pretty cool time lapse here of the creation of this permanent exhibit. There's the diner. It's pretty cool. And we brought back something new. The Great Pumpkin Drop. The museum has way cool stuff. That's fun. Those kids love watching the pumpkin drop. This is in addition to our traditional offerings like spring break events, egg drop, kerplop, scarecrow shenanigans, reindeer days, and everybody's favorite, New Year's Eve. Good stuff happening there at the museum, and you can see it by the numbers. The museum continues to partner with all kinds of different entities. Many of these are serving people who need a little extra help, and it's really cool that the museum continues to do this on a yearly basis and add more. Coming in 2026, all kinds of new things at the museum. We continue to reach you the way you consume information as best we can through Facebook, YouTube, Nextdoor, and LinkedIn. If you want to be in the know, please scan that QR code and opt into information you'd like to receive from the city of Bettendorf, whether it be weather-related or Parks and Rec related. There's all kinds of different things that you can learn. There's a picture of me trying to open that Christmas wrapped-up ball thing at one of our mayor's messages. We're going to drop the 300th mayor's message on March 6th. Anybody know how many episodes of MASH there were? 276. We got them beat. 96% of the residents are satisfied with the overall quality of life in Bettendorf. 94% are likely to recommend the city of Bettendorf as a place to live. If you want to know more about what makes us a great place to live, work, play, invest, and visit, take a look at the Citizens Academy. We'd love to have you. All 12 department heads will talk to you about their departments. You'll get to go take a look at our community partners like the Waste Commission of Scott County, the Emergency Management Agency, our 911 Communication Center, the Waste Treatment Facility. You're going to learn what it is like to run this city through our partnerships with the other cities in the community and all the things we do together. It's a great opportunity. All right, so we have the opportunity to introduce you to something really cool that's coming this year. For the first time ever, the city of Bettendorf is going to host the Iowa League of Cities. So they're coming to Bettendorf for the first time. This is a great opportunity for us to host 500,000 or 600,000, that would be a lot, 500 or 600 people from leadership positions throughout the cities in the state, as well as elected officials. So a great opportunity. I'm going to leave you with this. This is the hype video that we played for the Iowa League of Cities in Des Moines last year to entice them to come see us here in the city of Bettendorf.
You may be sitting in central Iowa right now, but there's a place 170 miles down Interstate 80 that is unlike any you've ever seen before. You exit onto Middle Road and enter the middle of an economic development mecca. You continue south and pass by one of the coolest amenities in the state. Soon, you'll find another body of water that's as mighty as it is magnificent. There's beauty, there's bliss, there's... Bob?
Welcome to Bettendorf. We'll see you in September.
We're excited for you to visit us in 2026. In Bettendorf, you'll find tasty, locally owned breweries and restaurants, an award-winning golf course, and so much more. Bettendorf is also part of the Quad Cities, the only spot in the entire country where the mighty Mississippi runs east and west. Across the river in Illinois is the home of John Deere and Moline, the Rock Island Arsenal, historic downtown Rock Island, and the Bend Expo Center and Entertainment District in East Moline. Next to us on the Iowa side, there's the New Wave Vibe in downtown Davenport, the old world charm of the East Village, and a riverfront view that is at its prime in September. Speaking of river, this area was the first to offer riverfront gambling, which takes us to the Isle Casino, your home during your visit.
See you in September.
And right outside your hotel room, you can retreat to our Jetty Park with live music and cold refreshments every day during your stay.
See you in September.
From there, enjoy a ride on our Channel Cat water taxi. Or take a short walk into downtown where there are bars and restaurants ready to serve you.
See you in September.
We're creating this conference with you in mind, with curated tours exploring topics such as downtown revitalization, public works, parks and recreation, plus economic and community development in one of the fastest growing areas across the state. Yes, right off I-80. And right off the mighty Mississippi. Get ready for a memorable President's reception that will feature one of our area's most unique musical groups, Three on the Tree.
I'll see you in September.
We're excited to show you what Bettendorf is all about and why our tagline continues to be a premier city.
So we're ready for you to come to the Iowa League of Cities Conference, September 23rd through 25th, 2026, where we're ready for you to be in Bettendorf. Yeah, baby!
Yeah, baby, indeed. Decker's tagline. We appreciate you all being here. Thank you to D-Films who did this video, also live streamed us today. Thank you to the Isle of Capri and to Essentra Credit Union, our sponsors today. Thank you for all of you being here, your continued support and investment. And one last round of applause. Angie Sharp put together my slide deck and got me through figuring out how to make this thing happen because we didn't have a plan B. Ladies and gentlemen, Angie Sharp. Behind the curtain. Thank you for all you do to help make the Quad Cities and the city of Bettendorf a premier place to live, work, play, invest, and visit. Have a great day.